Let's recite our Mangalachara prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksuramilitam
अमिलितं येनं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahita
मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri
श्रीयुतपदकमलम्
Gurun Vaisnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratu Se Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So last week we began chapter 4 of Shrimad Bhagwatam, Canto 1. The title was Appearance of Sri Narada, and in which we have covered two lessons, uh, lesson 21 and 22. So I will just briefly mention what we have learned last week. So in the beginning of the chapter, text 1 to 13, Saunaka has asked three questions after glorifying Sutta Goswami. So question number 1 was that he asked about in which yuga, at which place, for what reason, and by whose inspiration did Vyasadeva write Srimad Bhagwatam. And second question Saunaka asked is, after describing the qualities of Sukadeva Goswami, Saunaka asked about Sukadeva Goswami. How did the citizens of Hastinapur recognize Sukadeva Goswami? And how did the meeting and conversation of Maharaj Pariksit with Sukadeva Goswami takes place? And then the third question he asked is about Pariksit Maharaj, his birth, activity, and his renunciation. Okay, so that is the text 1 to 13. Then next set of verses 14 to 25, in that verses, the topics discussed were Vyasadeva's birth history, his meditation, then descriptions of the qualities of Kali Yuga, people in Kali Yuga, division of Vedas that he made from one Veda to four Vedas, and writing of Puranas, Mahabharata, like that. So those topics were discussed. Then also expansion of Vedic knowledge by selecting teachers or professor for each division. For example, Rigved, Samaved, Yajurved, Atharvaved, different professors were assigned. And then Puranas also. So today we'll begin from text 26 and onwards. And let me bring that thing for you. Okay, so this is where we're gonna begin today, lesson 23. About the lesson 23 is about Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction. So we will see in text 26, he says, Evam pravuttasya sada bhutanam shreyasi dvijaha sarvatmakenapi yada natushyadradayam tataha. So here it is mentioned that Suta is telling to Saunaka. Saunaka is a Brahmana, so he's addressing him, oh twice born Brahmana. Still, his mind was not satisfied. That is referring to Srila Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva mind was not satisfied. Still, why does it use still means he has written Puranas, 17 Puranas, Mahabharatas, Upanishad, everything. He divided, one Ved into four. Still, he was not satisfied. Although he engaged himself in working welfare of all people, right? So this was his job, that for whom Vyasadeva prepared literature, so we can say general mass of people he was working to satisfy them. So it is given here that Sri Vyasadeva was not satisfied with himself, although he had prepared literature of Vedic value for the all-around welfare of the general mass of people. It was expected that he would be satisfied by all such activity, but ultimately he was not satisfied. Then, okay, let me see. I guess I need to. Then we go to the next verse where he says, Nati prasiddha radayah saraswatya tate sucho vita kayan vivitastha idam cha uvacha dharmavit. Dharmavit means Vyasadeva was knower of the religion. He was not an ordinary person. So that was a question here, that the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself. So he knew the essence of religion, that means dharma vit. He was, vit means knowledge of dharma. He was uh, knowledgeable about dharma. So why he began to think about now, reflect that why I am not satisfied. So it is mentioned here in a short purport that the sage began to search out the cause of not being satisfied at heart. Perfection is never attained until one is satisfied at heart. This satisfaction of heart has to be searched out beyond matter. So sometimes, you will not get satisfied with whatever you have done, because it will not, your consciousness will not be satisfied unless you get a desired result. So, since we will see the reason that why Vyasadeva was not happy, because he did not give a importance to the devotional service of the Lord, That was the main reason. We will see that in the coming verses. But he began to uh, think about himself, Basically, although Vyasadeva was engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people, he was not satisfied with himself. He still felt unhappy. He was wondering himself, why am I still feeling unhappy? I did everything properly. And what he did is explained in this verse. So we will read that verse. He says that what he did is Dhrutavratena hi maya chandamsi guravo agnayaha manita nirvyalikena gruhitam chanusasanam bharatavyapadesena yamnyarthascha pradarshitah drushyate yatra dharmadi stri shudra Dibirapyuta. So in this it is explained that he was wondering, I did this, I did this. So this is what the essence of this verse that we have just recited. He said he's reflecting in himself now. So Vyasadeva is saying, I have, under strict disciplinary vow, unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual masters, and the altar of sacrifice. Okay. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata, by which even women, Sudra, and others, friends of twice born, can see the path of religion. So, no one can understand the import of Vedas without having undergone a strict disciplinary vow and disciplic succession. The Vedas, spiritual master and sacrificial fire, must be worshipped by the desiring candidate. All these indicates of Vedic knowledge are systematically presented in the Mahabharata for the understanding of the woman class, the laborer class, and the unqualified member of Brahman, Kshatriya, or Vaishya families. In this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. Remember this, that in this Kali Yuga, in this age, the Mahabharata is more essential than the original Vedas. Okay? So this was the thing. What Vyasadeva was saying there, he's saying, I worship the Veda, I worship the spiritual master, I perform fire sacrifice under very strict discipline, and I am in the bona fide disciplic succession, which is very essential for people to advance, because he's coming from like Brahma, Mara, Gaudiya, Varsana. So Krishna gave it to Brahma, Brahma gave it to Narad, and from Narad, he's worshipping his spiritual master Narad, everything, According to this verse, he says that he did everything. So what possibly still be wrong? That is, he was thinking like that, where did I go wrong? Why I am not happy? Why I am not happy at my heart? That is what he's thinking. So he's thinking, and sometimes when you think, if you don't remember anything, you scratch your head also, right? So scratching his head in doubt, then he realized something. What he's saying then? He says that it is because I did not emphasize or give importance to devotional service, which really is the only process that can fully satisfy Lord Krishna and his pure devotees. So we'll talk about this, why Krishna is only pleased by devotional service. Okay. We take the next verse, in which it is mentioned Tathapi batmaidehyo hi ma chevatmana vibhuhu sampanna ivabhati brahma varchasya sattamaha. Here it is said that I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. So we can say, Prabhupada writes in the purport that undoubtedly Srila Vyasadeva was complete in all the details of Vedic achievement. Purification of the living being submerged in matter is made possible by the prescribed activities in the Vedas. But the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in the transcendental normal state. Srila Vyasadeva appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. But it is also Krishna's plan. What was the Krishna's plan? We will see that further. Um, in this verse, it is said, 31, Kim va bhagavata dharma na prayena nirupitaha priyaha paramahansanam taeva hipyut sorry priyaha paramahansanam taeva hyuachyuta priyaha. Achyuta priyaha is Achyuta is Lord Krishna's name. This may be now. This is what he's thinking about now. Vyasadeva coming to this point that this may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord. Okay, so he kind of knew the reason. Doubt. So he expressing that maybe he's saying because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect being and the infallible Lord. The achyuta means infallible. Okay. All right. So the dissatisfaction which was being felt by Srila Vyasadeva is expressed here in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being in the devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living being can become fully satisfied. This defect was felt by him, means Vyasadeva, when Narad Muni, his spiritual master, reached him. It is described as follows. So next verse, Narad Muni arrives, but we will see that why the reflection of Vyasadeva himself. He says it is the same as, let me see. Okay, ultimately, Krishna had planted these feelings of dissatisfaction in Vyasadeva's heart. Why? To set the stage for him to write Shrimad Bhagwatam. You see, Krishna, now we may think anything, but sometimes Krishna's plans are there, So, and it happens to us also in our material life. Now, first of all, I will explain about why uh, you will never be satisfied, by sacrifice, by all these Vedas, writings, and everything, performance, and so forth, because one has to perform devotional service, and Vyasadeva in his Purana, he did not mention enough about devotional service, okay? Because you can never please the Lord by sacrifice. Why? Because Lord is pleased only by performance of devotional service. And that point he did not glorify in his writing that what he have done so far, So this is also said in Bhagavad Gita by Krishna to Arjuna. He says that Bhaktya tu ananya sakya aham evam vido Arjuna Gnatum darshitam cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Krishna tells Arjuna. What did he say there? Only by undivided devotional service can I be understand as I am. Right? So Krishna himself telling. So this is the well-known fact from the Gita. No one can understand Krishna, how he came from parents in four-handed form and at once changed himself into a two-handed form. Do you remember the Krishna's appearance story that in the prison house of the Kamsa, when he appeared in front of Vasudeva and Devki, he was four-handed in the beginning with Sankha Chakra Gada Padma in hand, and nicely dressed yellow pitambar, garland, mugut, all these things were there. So, and then by the request of his mother, he turned to two hands. Now, ordinary people will not understand unless you have a faith, unless you, know about Krishna, read about Krishna, heard about Krishna from somewhere. This is like from ordinary person that how it can possible. So, Krishna's activities are never to be understood unless and until you perform devotional service. That is the whole point I'm trying to bring now. Okay. So these things are very difficult to understand by just study of the Vedas or philosophical speculations like that. Because it is also said in one Upanishad that Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru तस्यैते कथिता हि अर्थाः prakashante mahatmanah. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master, in whom he has similar unflinching faith, can get the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. It is not very easy to please the Lord, in other words, unless you perform devotional service. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. You know. Also, there is another verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanaschasmi tattvata. That means Krishna says one can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. Therefore, if anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or in other words, if anybody wants to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take to pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee or bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, uh, the Lord Himself always stay behind the curtain. He will hide behind Yog Maya curtain. Uh, that is also stated in Bhagavad Gita, where is Naham Prakasah Sarvasya Yog Maya Samavruta. He said that I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent person. For that I am covered by my internal potency, which is Yog Maya. Thus, he is not revealed to everyone, right? When he was present, we see the story in Mahabharata. The Duryodhan cannot recognize Krishna, right? The Pandavas and other can see that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Duryodhan cannot. So, for them, he will be covered. He will not he will not reveal himself to them. That is what the whole point is. Only one who is actually engaged in Krishna conscious and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental quality and opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. So now what Narad facing the problem, okay, Same thing, we as a living entity, we are tiny soul, we are conditioned soul in this material world. We are also facing the same problem. What is it? So it is the same essential problem for each soul like us, in the material world, right? Why? Because all souls or all conditions living being are engaged in material activities, are dissatisfied, lonely, and empty. Why? Because all of them are separated from Krishna. You know? So activities performed in the material world, from shopping to intoxication, from humanitarianism to nationalism. Humanitarianism means sometimes you perform some work for the benefit of the people. For example, let's say you give him medicine, you give him clothes, you give him food, but that is all humanitarian services. Means helping people is very good, nothing wrong with it. But the real help is, Prabhupada mentioned many times, that you have to liberate his soul. You have to give him a tattva gnan. You have to give him a knowledge about devotional service of Krishna, So simply conditioned souls attempt to relieve that uh, emptiness or loneliness, but none of these activities go to the heart of the matter, and therefore none of them can negate the emptiness. The only thing that can relieve the conditioned soul is the re-establishment of their constitutional loving relationship with Krishna. So then what happens after that? Narad make an appearance here. So we will see in the next verse, while Vyas was thinking about his dissatisfaction, at that point, Tasyaivam maklatmanam manyamanasya khidyataha krushnasya narado vyagat asramam prag udahrutam. So, as mentioned before, Narad reached the cottage of Krishna, Dvaipayan, Vyas. So this particular Vyasadeva's name is also given here, Krishna Dvaipayana, because in each day of Brahma, there is a Vyas, but they are not Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas. This Vyas is different than any other. On the bank of the Saraswati, just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects. Okay, so let's say here the other reason is also mentioned. I will vacuum means emptiness felt by Vyasadeva was not due to his lack of knowledge. So it is concluded here that it is not that he was lacking in knowledge. His dissatisfaction was not because of that he is in lack of knowledge or he don't know. We see in further Dharmavit, he was the knower of the religion. He knew the essence of religion. Okay, so Bhagavad Dharma is purely devotional service of the Lord, to which the monist has no access. Monist means impersonalist. Impersonalist means one who does not believe the form of Krishna. Okay, that is the meaning of monist. There is a two kind of transcendentalist: personalist, impersonalist. Personalist believe the form of Krishna, and impersonalist does not believe in form of Krishna. The monist is not counted among the Paramhamsa. Paramhamsa means the most perfect of the renounced order of life. In sannyas order, also there are category, So in that category, the Paramhamsa is the highest category in sannyas order of life. Okay, we learned these 4 ashram and 4 these brahmacharya ashram, grahastha ashram, vanprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. So in sannyas ashram, The highest stage is Paramhamsa. Srimad Bhagwatam is full of narrations of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is how Srimad Bhagwatam is different from other 17 Puranas, in which there are some glorification of Krishna is not there, but not to the fullest extent. And in Srimad Bhagwatam, that's why it is mentioned this line here, that it is full of narration of transcendental activity. Transcendental activity means the activities beyond the modes of material nature, which are goodness, passion, and ignorance. So relationship between his devotee and Krishna is mentioned particularly in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is why Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest Purana, topmost Purana, Amala Purana, Amala, Mala means dirtiness, Amala means not dirty. Although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, empowered means he was given a Shakti from, because we learned in the 3rd chapter about incarnations of Lord, right? So Vyasadeva was 17 incarnation of Krishna, Although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because in none of his works were the transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. Yeah. So there is a different ways of saying it, but that is what is boiled down to, that he did not mention about devotional service. The inspiration was infused by Sri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasadeva. So this is what I previously said. That was Krishna's plan, right? I mentioned about it. So why that was so? Because Krishna infused directly in the heart of Vyasadeva. And thus he felt the vacuum as explained above, right? It is definitely expressed here with that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void. But in the transcendental service of Lord, everything is tangible without any separate attempt at future work or empiric philosophical speculation. So we can see now the ultimate reason is like Krishna guided him, he inspired him that get dissatisfaction. Why? Because he wants to, Krishna wants to make a prayer, see that Narad Muni appears, and then he tells them that means how Krishna, how Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, that is what it is coming up. And in the next chapter, we will see that, how Narad Muni guides him, how God told him. And then he get again, it clicks to him. Sometimes what happens, sometimes we don't have a clue what we are doing. But if somebody gives some hint, then it clicks us, and then we start doing it. So similar thing happened here also to Vyasadeva. Even though Vyasadeva also predicted the same reason, but when he will heard from his spiritual master, we'll see that tomorrow, then it clicked him, and then he followed the process that is shown by Narad Muni, and then finally he decided to write Srimad Bhagavatam like that, So the basic scenario behind this incident is that also that Vyasadeva becomes the instrument for writing a pure dealings of devotees and Krishna, and in that way he can write Srimad Bhagavatam. So main point is that he can write Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Then in the next 2 verses, we will see that the Narad Muni comes and he welcomes him. So in 33 verse, it says, Tam Vignaya Sahasa Pratyuthaya Gatam Munihi Pujayamasa Vidhevan Naradam Surapujitam. So, at the auspicious arrival of Sri Narad, so while he was thinking, like I mentioned earlier, the Narad Muni came. Sri Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to given to Brahma, the creator. Now, why he has given the spiritual master that much honor? Because it is given in our Guruvastak prayer also. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Sakshad haritvena samasta sastrai yuktas tatha bhavyat eva sadbihi kintu prabhorya priya eva tasya vande guru si charanar vindam. Those who know the Mangala Arati of Krishna in temple, this is the verse we sing, which is given to Shashkar Thakur. All devotees sing this. Sakshad haritvena samasta sastrai. So, purport of this verse, Prabhupada writes that Vidhi means Brahma. Okay. The first created living being. He was the first created living being. He is the original student as well as professor of the Vedas. Okay. He learned it from Sri Krishna and taught Narad first. How Brahma? Brahma knew from Krishna and Narad knew from Brahma. So it's like this: Krishna, Brahma, Narad. Okay. Brahma got this Vedic knowledge from Krishna and Brahma gave this knowledge to Narada. So Narad is the second Acharya in line of spiritual disciplic succession. He is a representative of Brahma and therefore he is respected exactly like Brahma, the father of the Vedis. Similarly, all other successive disciples in the chain are also equally respected as representative of the original spiritual master. So this is the end here that we can see. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the first canto, fourth chapter of the spiritual master, entitled The Appearance of Narad. So we come up to this point. Now this story will continue in chapter 5, so which we're gonna begin tomorrow. Okay, so now we can recite one verse or two verse maybe, and then you can ask questions. Let us say, have you memorized any verses so far? Somebody has memorized verses?
Mataji, today we have cooked. Oh no, because today I don't want to do cooked.
Who has somebody memorized the verses?
No.
Okay. There are some verses that we recited from Bhagwatam also, right? So, for example, in chapter 2, there are nice verses that are given. Let's see if I can share that. Okay, maybe let's just see one right now because there will be a time. So, okay, let's recite this verse. It's very easy and you can recite after me. Narayanam namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Jayam Saraswati Tato Jayam Udiraye.
Next verse is Nasta praye swabhadreshu
Nasta Praye Subhadreshu
Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhavati Naistuki.
So far I have given about 8-9 verses. So you can, every day practice it. So one day I will ask you to recite that verses also, okay? So you keep practicing those words. Like Komaram Acharet Pragno, I give in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Then also Aishwarya Samagrasya, like that. Then Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. We all know it. Okay, right. Okay, so let's see now. We take the question answer session for a few minutes. Then we play the Kahoot game, okay?
I don't want to do Kahoot game today.
Okay. So any questions, comment? You can raise your hand one by one. In today's class, anybody questions?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
What's the difference between Puranas and Upanishads?
I cannot hear clearly. Who is
He
me?
said, what's the difference between Puranas and something else?
Purana and what?
Upanishads.
Upanishad. Okay. So okay. Upanishads are Upanishads. They give the. It's like Upanishads are the Vedic divisions of the Vedas, and Puranas is like histories. Upanishad is part of Veda, while Puranas are historical events, but it is real. It's not like it is not like somebody made it up. So Puranas means historical facts mentioned in the Puranas to establish the Vedic principle. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I have another question.
Okay.
Why did Vyasa, like he's the incarnation of Krishna, why didn't he just write the Bhagwatam when he knew that he was missing, like he didn't write much about devotional service? Why did he have to call Narada and then have spiritual master give knowledge and then write about Bhagavatam? Because
Yeah.
he was Krishna's incarnation.
So no, very good questions. In the sense that you cannot speculate something. You have to work under the guidance of spiritual master. That is our Brahma Gaudiya principle. Vaishnava philosophy is that you have to gain knowledge in the disciplic succession. You cannot concoct something on your own.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, next Nehasri has a question. You can unmute yourself and ask Nehasri.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So my question is, Brahma is the first living being, right? So is he
Yes.
the first God also?
What is it?
So Brahma is the first living being. So is he the first God too?
Yeah, he's demigod. He's not God. He's demigod.
Okay.
Yeah,
So he's the first demigod.
yeah,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
next,
Prabhuji.
you're welcome. Hare Krishna. Jyotsna, next Jyotsna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My question is, you said that without a strict disciplic vow, you can't understand the Vedas. So why can't you understand the Vedas without doing this?
Without what? I didn't get the last part of.
You said without a strict disciplic vow, you can't understand the Vedas. So why can't you understand the Vedas without doing this?
Without following disciplic succession?
No, you said without a strict disciplic vow.
Oh, the strict vow. Well, in other words, so all the strict vow, sacrifice, worshipping, this austerity, these are the methods to realize the God. Okay, but it is not perfect unless you have a devotional service with it. Those are incomplete process. You cannot completely please the Supreme Personality of Godhead without pure devotional service to Him.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. Anybody else have a question? If not, then you are all ready and set to go for Kahoot game. Okay. Are you ready? Is Mataji here? Are you ready for Kahoot game?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji's and kids. Mataji is there in 2 minutes, so we have to wait.
Oh,
Mataji.
she's not here yet?
No, she is there.
Okay.
Mataji, I'm here. We can get started. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Okay, so Mataji, can I share my screen?
Yeah, so kids, wish you all best for your Kahoot game.
Mataji, what's the game plan?
Oh, 1 second. I haven't started yet. I'm just trying to figure out how to share my screen.
All
Okay,
you do is press the share screen button.
but okay. Can you see now?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Suraj. I just followed your instruction. All right, I'll get started. Kids, please just go to kahoot.it and I'm going to give you all the pin. Sorry, my video is not on. Please excuse me for that. 2229388. 2229388. Okay, I see 7 of you all joined now. Okay, 8. Ten.
Do you see me, Mataji? Share this.
Yes, I do see. I see Nandini also just joined. 11.
Mataji, I'm not going to join Kahoot today.
Who's this? Kesha?
No, it's Nehasri.
Oh, Neha, you're not able to join? Oh my God, why?
Because my device is still charging.
Okay, no worries. You watch the game.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, dear. And how about others? Are we all done? Can we get started? Are we good?
I think we can start. Okay. No, we're waiting for one person, Nihal.
Nihal, are you joining?
Mataji,
I think that's probably it.
Mataji, you can start.
Yeah, it started here. So we're going to get started now. The first question for today. For whom Vyasadeva prepared the literature of Vedic value? For devotees, for general mass of people, for non-devotees?
Mataji, I really don't know. But okay. I'm sure he made it for everybody.
Yes. That must be the understanding. Yes. So for general mass of people, meaning for everybody, there was no discrimination. Okay. All right, let's see our scores for today. Krishna Chinta, Mihika, Suraj, Ramachandra, and Bhumi.
Oh my God, I'm on the podium on first strike.
Okay, good. Attentive listening, right? So when he was dissatisfied, what did he do? He did not worry too much about it. He ignored it completely. He began to find out the cause. Who was dissatisfied? We are talking about Vyasadeva.
Easy. I think I'm going to be in 4th or 5th place now.
Oh, good. Everybody got it right. Wonderful job. Congratulations, kids.
Nope, I'm only in 6th place still.
Oh, no worries. You will slowly get there. And here are the top 5 winners. They remain the same, no changes. Third question for today. In this age of Kali, what is more essential than the original Vedas? Is it Sankhya philosophy or Mahabharata?
Easy.
Yes, that is right. Everybody got it right.
I
And
went to
Krishna
4th
Chinta,
place.
wonderful. Krishna
sixth
Chinta, there is
place.
something going on with you. I'm not able to see what this is.
He
Oh,
has
okay,
an
yeah.
answer streak of 3.
Correct. And Mihika is second. Suraj, Charit, there is something with the, oh, is it, okay, I thought somebody raised their hands and probably that is something that you had.
Mataji, I have the answer streak of 3 too.
Wonderful, that's good.
Me
So you
too.
got all correct answers. The fourth question for today. What did Vyasadeva conclude for possible reason for his dissatisfaction? He mentioned about the devotional service of the Lord, not mentioned about the devotional service of the Lord, and not mentioned about the demigods. What was the reason? Of course, the reason for his dissatisfaction was that he did not mention about devotional service of the Lord in any of the literatures he had written. And that is the reason for dissatisfaction. And the first option, which is the mentioning of the devotional service of the Lord, would have given him satisfaction. But here we are talking about dissatisfaction. Okay. All right. Ramachandra, third place, and Mishi has come to fifth place. And the others, they remain the same. Krishna Chinta leading. Congratulations. Fifth question. Who came to Vyasadeva's ashram? Vyasadev's ashram, who did come? Okay, that was so quick. Very spontaneous. Okay, Krishna Chinta has 5 correct answers in a row. And the others, they remain in the same place. Sixth question for today. Who had planted the feelings of dissatisfaction in Vyasadeva's heart? Narada Muni, Lord Krishna, or Sukadev Goswami? Yes, it was Lord Krishna who created the feelings, planted the feelings of dissatisfaction in his heart. And here are the top 5. Krishna Chinta has 6 correct answers. 7th question for today. Why did Krishna do this? Why did Krishna do this? To set the stage to write Shrimad Bhagwatam, to set the stage to write Bhagavad Gita, to set the stage to write, not stage, sage, to write Upanishads.
Mataji, I
Mataji?
accidentally pressed the wrong one.
Oh, you know the right answer, right? Oh my God, that's okay.
Mataji?
Yes.
Kahoot?
We accidentally
kicked me
did it.
out.
Oh, you accidentally kicked out. You got kicked out?
Yeah, Kahoot.
Oh, that's okay. Can you watch the game at least?
Yeah.
Okay, just continue watching it then.
Okay, can I tell you something?
Yes.
I built a fan.
Oh, you built a fan? Wow, that's awesome. Mishi and Bhumi has come up and something, I don't know, what is it? Can you see this? The orange thing? What is this? Okay, nice. Bhumi is back with an answer streak of 3. Okay, congratulations, Bhumi. 8th question for today. Who is the first created living being? Narada Muni, Brahma, or Lord Shiva? All of you got it right. Yes.
Mataji, someone already asked that question.
In the class?
Yeah, I think it was Nehishri.
Okay, she is not unable to participate, but she's still watching the game. Thank you, Neha, for asking that beautiful question.
Mataji, can I tell you something again?
Yes. Yes, Suraj?
It's Charit.
Charit.
So this was the 8th question and 8 people got it right. So 3 people did not answer.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, nice. That's something that I wouldn't have noticed. All right, where is Gobind? Gobind, are you here?
Gobinda is also watching.
Oh, Gobind, you didn't talk to me at all? You're watching the game? Okay, he's on mute probably. Okay, Mihika has 8 correct answers in a row. Congratulations, Mihika. Very attentive listening.
Mataji, Govinda is not here in the meeting.
I know, that's why I couldn't hear him. Probably he left.
Yeah.
Ninth. Okay, ninth question. From whom Brahma learned the Vedas? Okay, Lord Krishna, right? Good job. And last question. Jyotsna has come up and Bhumi has come up. And we have Krishna Chinta, Mihika, and Ramachandra in the first three places. Last question for today. To whom Brahma taught the Vedas? Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, or Lakshmi Devi? Narada Muni. He taught the Vedas to Narada Muni. Yes, so we have our top 5 winners here. Third place goes to Ramachandra. Congratulations, Ram. And second place, Mihika. First place goes
Krishna
to
Chinta.
Krishna Chinta. Yes, you got it
He
right,
always
Charit.
gets first place.
And runner-ups, Bhumi and Jyotsna. Okay, let's go to our report and get it
I
all
could have
taken
stayed
care of.
in third place. I didn't get those 2 questions.
Oh, no worries, but you got it now, right? I'm not.
Yes, one was
So, Charit,
actually
can you tell me
a
how I have
mistake,
to?
and one was I knew but I clicked wrong.
So, Charit, I don't. What I mean. So, see, I have to scroll down. So, what am I supposed to do now?
Okay, can you see me?
Yeah.
So on your mouse, use both of your fingers. Wait.
Yeah, just
go
press
down.
the scroll down button.
Scroll your fingers
Okay,
down.
let me connect my mouse then. I don't have a mouse now. So, let me connect it to a mouse.
You don't need a mouse.
Not,
So,
no, wait, are
Charit
you
is
using a
saying
computer?
for Chromebooks.
Are you using a computer?
No, I told you, right? I'm having Mac and I'm not. I don't know how to scroll down. It's not scrolling down. For me.
Okay,
Then go
do
up,
you
scroll up with your fingers. There's like a rectangle thing on your computer, right? Because I have a MacBook too.
Oh.
Put 2 fingers on the keypad.
wait, you don't have to do. Yeah, push up. Or
actually, there's four
if you
buttons.
can't do.
No,
yeah,
there's
like
four,
the arrow
there's-
buttons, you can press up and down. You can do those.
Yeah,
But
in
then
the
you
middle,
press
there's
on
a
the
down
down arrow button.
No,
I'm able
on
to
the
only get
keypad.
till 6.
No, on the keys, Mataji, not the ones there. On the keys.
Are you
On the
using a
keys?
MacBook?
Like
Yeah,
where
I'm-
you type.
Arrow key.
Oh, yeah. I
Very
did that.
tiny.
Okay. Thank you. I'm very, very bad with this. Anyways, thank you so much. See, here we have our top 10. Can you all see your names? So from Jyotsna, Suraj, Mishi, Yash, Charit, and Nandini, obviously, after that, okay, they got kicked out after that. Yes. So this is what we have in terms of score. So most of you all scored well. Okay, let's take Yash and we will see what all he missed. So Vyasadeva, he prepared, he wrote these things for general mass of people. That is the right answer. What did Vyasadeva conclude? He did not mention about devotional service. That was the reason for his dissatisfaction. And then this one, what had planted, right? What had, who planted the feelings in Vyasadev's heart? It was Krishna. Okay. All right, kids. Prabhuji, good job. I think most of them got it very well done in this test. So it's pretty good.
Very good, Balaji. Thank you for your fun. Thank you for your service and entertaining the kids for this Kahoot game.
Thank you, Prabhu, and thanks to Priyanka Mataji. She always engages me in the service, and I totally thank her for whatever I'm getting in terms of opportunities to serve all these beautiful Vaishnava kids. Yes.
For Mac, don't think it's too complex. Just use it like a normal computer. Like most of the things are not different from a normal computer.
Sure, Charit. I'll definitely get that perspective onto my heart. And if I have any questions, I'll ask during the class so you can educate me, all right? So if my sons are not here. Yeah.
This is Suraj.
Suraj, I get confused between you and Charit for some reason. Okay, no worries. Thank you again, everyone. So we will adjourn for today. Do our prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Nama